They're both going to be short. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a guy that works tirelessly behind the scenes here. You guys don't know him probably, but he has worked very hard behind the scenes. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce Dan Allie.
Thank you, Kirk, and thank you for being here. Like many of you, I've had enough of the media and the fools running our government. I support the Second Amendment, but I believe our First Amendment right of the freedom of press has been hijacked. The media, along with some politicians, threaten our rights, our freedoms, and our prosperity with deceptive tactics. Ronald Reagan said, "I will not stand by and watch this great country destroy itself under mediocre leadership that drifts from one crisis to another, eroding our national will and purpose. We have come together here because the American people deserve better from those to whom they entrust our nation's highest offices, and we stand united in our resolve to do something about it. We need a rebirth of the American tradition of leadership at every level of government and in private life as well. I am an Army veteran, but like many of your friends and neighbors who are not gun owners, I had no idea what law-abiding citizens are required to know or go through to exercise their God-given and natural rights to defend themselves or own and possess a firearm. I understand how the media distorts the news and controls the public conversation. We have government leaders who will not let a crisis go to waste pursuing their agenda and rely on deceptive language, tactics, and images to fool the public while ramming through hastily passed and poorly written laws on gun control. These laws do not address the real problem. People with mental health issues are responsible for mass shootings. 37 out of 38 mass shootings in the last 10 years have taken place in gun-free zones. These laws do not affect criminals, but they will affect your ability to own, sell, or transfer common rifles and handguns. Limiting the number of rounds to 10 or 7 will only affect the ability of ordinary people to defend themselves and will turn law-abiding citizens who refuse to comply into criminals overnight. This is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. This is an American issue. We are asking each of you to take 100 brochures and give them to your friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Bring them to your sportsmen's clubs, veterans groups, and where you buy your morning coffee. Before you leave, stop by this table over here. It'd be nice if this we would hold. Sign the petition and volunteer. Okay, we need your information. Please, if you can donate to help pay for the brochures, every $29 helps us print another 29 brochures. We printed 55,000 of them. We're shipping them across the state. But there is one more thing you can do. It's about time some of you ran for selectmen and city council and school committee. There are organizations here that have had some success running campaigns, such as the Massachusetts Republican Assembly. I'm the treasurer of the Western Mass Republicans. In the last election, a group of regular people helped elect Greg Neffinger, mayor of this city. Okay, he couldn't be here tonight. He was supposed to be here. He was detained, basically. But we have sat back way too long, and many of us have forgotten what our founding fathers, they gave us the keys to the republic. We need to help one another. With your help, with God's help, we can make a difference. Last year, the town of West Springfield was the only town in Massachusetts the property taxes went down. Don't tell me we don't make a difference. You make a big difference. Just stand up and believe in yourselves. We can attend rallies and meetings in large numbers, and you've heard today how we've done that. We can turn back hastily passed and poorly written laws, but if we don't win the culture, and we let the media control the conversation. The opponents of freedom, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights will win the future. I say, not on our watch. If you will give up a few hours on a Saturday, or make some phone calls to help volunteers to get organized, we can elect responsible adults to run our government. If we will stand up, talk with our neighbors, educate and organize ourselves, we can thin out this herd of fools running our government. Thank you, and God bless America.
Dan's absolutely right. If you don't want to run for office, support someone who does. Write letters. Take a friend to the target range. Share your culture. The facts are on our side. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the closing speaker of tonight. Well worth the wait. If you know him, you love him. Dan Kopacz.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. I know the crowd has thinned out a little bit, but thank you all who have come out and weathered this wind and to hear some inspiring words from a number of great patriots. Now, I'm only going to touch on a couple of things here, and I'm going to cut you loose. I know y'all want to get going. And remember, right over here at the American Legion, the folks are good enough to be very thankful for people like us out here speaking our minds and offering free pizza. So when everything's over, head on over to the blue canopy here behind me. And those that came up and introduced themselves, after the first time I spoke it, this always happens. I love shaking hands and meeting all the new faces out there. And it never fails. There's always a couple that say, Dave, I really like what you said. Are you going to run for office? What are you going to run for? And you know, I really enjoy serving in local politics in my local town. I enjoy it because I know the people I'm dealing with. And I really don't have any great aspirations for running for Senate or state rep or anything like that. But what I will tell folks is that if I ever change my mind and I decide that I'm going to run for something, I'm going to run for county sheriff. All right? And you know why? Because I'll tell you what, we've come a long way. Our county sheriffs used to stand for something, and that's the American people. And I want to see that happen again. We've got an overreaching federal government that would like to stick its nose in every aspect of your business. They want to come in and surveil you and profile you and, to send images to the fusion center and whatever they got to do, But I want to do something a little different. I want to protect everyone's rights before they foreclose on a home with a dirty deed. I want to make sure that the banks and that the politicians are endorsing these foreclosures, that it's being done by the books and is legal. And if you got feds that come in here and they want to surveil you without a warrant, well, you know what? If I were sheriff, I'd have them knocking on my door. And if they weren't going to comply, I'd be deputizing people like you. We'd be arresting federal agents and putting them in some of their own jails. Am I right there? Darn right. Darn right. It's been a great pleasure coming up here and speaking. I really feel undeserving almost. We had Stuart Rhodes, Jim Wallace. All the speakers were just so great. And I'm truly honored to be up here. But more honored that people like you come out to hear us talk. That is incredibly important. And I got to reiterate something. You are all leaders in your own respect. Please make this viral. Take this energy to your town and make it happen on your town common. This is a common. That's what it's for. You don't take out a permit to come on your own town common and share your thoughts. Show up, bring a soapbox, bring a microphone. Call me, I'll give you a little help if I can. Politicians, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of advice. One thing that I've learned, and I've tried 8 ways from Sunday to get through to these guys, and it's a pretty tough thing. I finally come to the realization that they're very, very simple creatures. They've got 2 buttons. They got a pleasure button and they've got a paid button. All right, and then you can say, "Oh, good job, Senator so-and-so for this vote. Good job, Representative so-and-so for that vote." And that kind of, that's always nice. They like to hear it, but they forget about it shortly after you leave their office too. But boy, when you find that political pain button and you start pushing on it, and you put your thoughts in your local papers, you seize your community access channel and start your own show. Where's Chris Pinto? Is he still here? That young man started a show over in Worcester right now that's catching fire. That's all we got to do. We got to get out and talk these things up. This is regular, it's life. It's life for us. The politicians, they're used to managing like vassals. They treat us like vassals, cattle to be herded around. Well, you know what? They got to start hearing from us loud and proud every day of the week. Not just when they're out to take something from you. This incrementalism has taken us from a day where we've heard a lot about what happened on Lexington Green. And I'll tell you, the caliber of the men and women back then has changed. We have gotten soft. And I'll tell you, that's going to stop. It's going to take a long time to undo this garbage, but we have got to start. Little civil disobedience is in order, I think. I think it was Jefferson said about every 20 years we're due for a good old-fashioned revolution, right? Damn it, it took some proud people in an irate minority to secure the liberty in this country, and we may have to do it again. We can't be so calloused and sheltered to think that we're so protected by government that bad things can't happen, and don't think government's the solution. A government solution to a government problem is no solution at all. You can't solve an economic crisis by spending more money. You call up the Federal Reserve, hit that print button. Well, I'll tell you, unless we run out of ink or paper, those lunatics are not going to stop. We've got to get rid of some of these people in office. And we're going to start calling them out by name. Chuck Schumer, that gun-grabbing socialist from New York. Chuck, gone! Dianne Feinstein. Chuck, gone! Any others? Boxer, Barbara Boxer. Oh, she gave us land trust and all that green nonsense. Chuck, gone with her too. Elizabeth Warren. Ooh. You know, well, I could go on. I got a list that'll go down to the floor of departments that we don't need, agencies we don't need. You don't need an FDA. Got a Department of Education turned our schools into public re-education camps. Why do we got a Department of Education? Don't need it. Our kids were learning history back in the day, way before the Department of Ed. All right, folks, it's awesome that you came out here, but please, I want you to think of today as just one day of many. If we stop, if we go home and you grab that remote control, it's all over. Next time you go to your common to talk, don't be lulled into a permit. Your Constitution is your permit. We don't have a permit here. They can't take from us something we didn't ask for. We asserted ourselves. All right. I want to thank the police officers that are out today. We got a number of police here. They secured the event, made sure that we were taken care of, allowed us to do what we had to do, and I thank them for that. I don't know if it's such a good idea that they're streaming our faces to the Fusion Center in Boston, but hey, you know, whatever, smile. And please, go home, reconnect with your family, call up your kids, sit down at the table and eat supper with your kids at night. If there's a drug problem, you'll know. If they're being bullied in school, you'll know. If the teachers are teaching them socialist bullshit, you'll know. Reconnect with your families, reconnect with your neighbors. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next rally. Don't forget, pizza and beer right over here at the American Legion. Thank you all. Have a good afternoon.
Dave Kopacz, you see his name? Listen. All right, American Legion, the blue awning right over there is free pizza. You got to pay for your beer. They got it hot and they got it waiting for us. See you over there. And thank you for coming out.